Well, it's already week 5 and things have been going smoothly, and I appreciate the support. Today, I'm going to do things a little bit different. I want to talk about my top 3 sleeper teams in the NFL. So, are you ready to get your fix? Now, on to my first sleeper team, the Miami Dolphins. Now, these teams are in no order. They're just my top 3 teams that I see could be a shocker this year. So, I chose Miami Dolphins due to a couple things. For starters, they had 11 draft picks this year, with 3 of them being the first round. Okay, that's a lot. That's a pretty good amount. You're going to find some good talent there, at least one guy for sure. Tua is obviously one of my main reasons I put the Miami Dolphins as a sleeper. I mean, this is a perfect system for him. He can come in, being that this team is super young, and they can give him a little extra protection now on the offensive line with the draft of Austin Jackson, who I think is one of the best tackles coming out of this draft. Now I know the Dolphins finished last season 5-11, and I believe they were last in their division, and they missed the playoffs. But for literally having no offense or defense, I mean, that's incredible. 4-5-11, a lot of people thought 3 wins, 2 wins. That's what they were kind of thinking. But 5 wins, that's pretty good. And they even had a rookie head coach in Brian Flores. Brian Flores is also one of the big reasons I have the Dolphins as a sleeper team. I mean, this guy was able to take a young group of guys and bring them together to play as a unit. I mean, he's straight business. He gets the job done. He knows what he's doing. He got the defense to start clicking on all cylinders last year. They gained that chemistry that they needed to be a good, sound defense. I mean, yeah, they lost 11 games, so you can't really say they were that great, but they were in a lot of those games. The Dolphins finished 12th last season in picks, which is awesome. Now, I understand that everything the Dolphins did last year, they weren't able to do anything, but they were still able to put up a fight each and every game, and I expect nothing less this year. I really do. And with all the additions of these rookies, these 11 rookies that they had drafted this year, I think the Dolphins could easily go 8-8. That's what I have them going, and I believe that they could possibly have a shot at the playoffs. I have them finishing second in the division, but the only team I feel like they have to worry about in their division is that Buffalo Bills. I mean, you could say the Patriots, being that Bill Belichick is still there, but with Jared Stidham at the helm, I don't think they're going to have much of an issue. So, be ready to watch the Miami Dolphins make a jump this year, because they possibly might make the playoffs, and it's going to be very interesting to see the Miami Dolphins once again in that playoff picture. So moving over to my second sleeper team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben is just coming off an injury, and I believe he's hungry to start winning. He's been consistently injured the last couple seasons. So now if the NFL had the same playoff format last season as they do this season, then the Steelers would have made the playoffs for the sole fact that, they would have made the playoffs for the sole fact that the Pittsburgh defense was absolutely incredible last year, okay? That was the only reason they were able to stay in a lot of games. I mean, the only bad stat they had was, I believe, the percentage of opponents or scoring or whatever ending in scoring, drives ending in scoring, which they ranked 29th. But every other stat was in the top 10 for their defense, which is awesome. I mean, their defense is just nasty, and they're going to wreak havoc this season once again, just like they did last season. I mean, TJ Watt was absolutely incredible. They essentially have the exact same squad as they did last year. I mean, Mason Rudolph is now probably, I hope, out of their system. I mean, they got Big Ben, and I think Duck Hodges or something like that. So I could see the Steelers making an even bigger jump, though. And the reason I say that is because they can go out and sign the guy I have talked about previously in Cam Newton. If they sign Cam, I can see the Steelers winning their division and making a run in the playoffs and possibly going to the AFC Championship. I mean, that's a stretch. Don't get me wrong. That's a big stretch, but go sign Cam, and I guarantee you're making the playoffs and you're going to make a run. That's just how I see it. I mean, they have so much talent on each side of the ball. They got Juju Smith-Schuster. They got James Conner on the offense, and on their defense, their linebacker crew with J.J. Watt, with their cornerback crew like Minkah Fitzpatrick. I mean, these guys have the pieces of the puzzle to do something really special. Okay, now, if their players stay healthy, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that nobody should not take lightly. They should not take them lightly, because Pittsburgh, like I noted, they have their offensive weapons. They have their defensive weapons. They got what it takes. I mean, I do predict Big Ben to get hurt again. That's why I say go get Cam. Because I feel like if Big Ben gets hurt, he's done. It's his last season. That's all we're going to see from him. I mean, he's a great pocket passer, nothing else. So if he stays healthy and he gets rolling, that's the only way I can see Big Ben taking the Steelers far this season. Okay, but I don't know what else I can say. I want Cam to go to the Steelers just for that quarterback security and possibly beat out Big Ben. Is Big Ben still worth what he is? Is he their guy? I mean, he's not athletic. He's not quick. Like I said, he's just a pocket passer. Go get Cam. So, that's all I got to say about them. So watch the Steelers make a leap this season, okay? And finally, I'm going to go over to my last sleeper team, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this was one of the Cardinals' biggest off seasons I have seen in an absolutely long time. So, first of all, they decided to trade David Johnson to get the one, the only DeAndre Hopkins. That was the biggest news I seen this offseason, I think, and it was probably one of the first moves actually in free agency. This absolutely blew my mind because now Hopkins has left the Houston with no receivers there. I mean, they only have Will Fuller. That's pretty much all I see. I mean, yeah, they got Randall Cobb and I think Kenny Stills and still, but like DeAndre's gone. What else do you got? Are you sure you have something special? Have something like DeAndre? Because no one else is nowhere good as DeAndre Hopkins is on that Houston roster, besides Deshaun Watson, but he's not even a receiver. So now the Cardinals have a very explosive weapon for Kyler Murray to throw the ball to. Kyler Murray can now throw to DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, or tight end Max Williams. That's 4 weapons on offense that he could easily dish the ball off to and have a really good season. Okay, I mean, I think this is going to be a very, very consistent crew who is going to be able to find the gaps so that Kyler can make those throws. So if Kyler scrambles out, if a receiver is done running his route, he's going to try to run more so he can get open and get Kyler more touchdowns this year, more wins for a whole team. Getting rid of David Johnson, I felt was a really good idea because they also have Kenyon Drake, who lit it up last year. I mean, Drake started 8 games, rushed for 643 yards with 8 rushing touchdowns for the Cardinals. So, I mean, he obviously can produce good numbers. He obviously is a starting caliber running back, especially in today's league. You never know. Any running back can all of a sudden blow up and be insanely good or a starting caliber running back. I mean, he also produces in the pass game. Okay, last year he had 171 receiving yards. Not too much, but I mean, you're not going to have that much when you have the ball to throw to like Larry Fitzgerald or now DeAndre Hopkins or people like that. Now you don't need that many yards. This is just a security outlet. Okay, so you just roll out, no one's open, dump it to the running back. That's what those receiving yards came from, and Drake did it just fine last year. Not only their offense though, however, but their defense is also another reason I got the Cardinals as a sleeper team. They have a very, very, very good pass rusher who can also play linebacker in Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones finished last year with 19 sacks and 53 tackles. That's just absolutely insane numbers, okay? Alongside the freak athlete Chandler Jones, the Cardinals drafted Isaiah Simmons, who's a utility player. And by utility player, I mean that Simmons can play probably linebacker, he can play corner, he can play safety, he can even be an edge rusher if you need him to be. I mean, wherever the Arizona Cardinals thinks he's going to excel at, that's where they're going to play him at. I feel like they're going to use him as a linebacker, though, mainly who he'll be able to guard the flat. So if a receiver runs a quick slant route to the flat, he's going to be able to guard that because he can drop back in coverage really well as the corner or the safety, like I mentioned. Or, from this position, he can also blitz. He can shoot the gaps, stop the run. Or if they wanted to, they can go to a 3 defensive line, go to like a 3-4 or whatever, and then have Isaiah Simmons kind of act as an edge rusher on the side. So, no team should mess with the Arizona Cardinals this year. Okay, I got them finishing 4-12, and after looking at the roster and watching who they drafted and look at all the stats, I feel like they could put up a really good fight now. Okay, I think they could finish 9-7 or higher. I really do. The only problem is that they have a really tough division. Okay, they have the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers. So it's tough, but I still feel like they could do something special. And, just look for the Cardinals to be a very, very good sleeper team. So before we end the discussion, I got you guys a little special gift. We'll show you one sec. Say hi, Nash. This is Nash. He's the new member of the Get Your Fix family. And he was just kind of napping, so we'll leave it at that, okay? Well, that's going to end today's discussion. And from Nash and I, you just got your fix with the Wicks.